everybody. Welcome to yet another, you can't stop me, yet another episode of the Beard Al Podcast. The podcast where we talk about two of the greatest things in the world, beer and Weird Al.
Wait, why
what?
is it bad if you say yet another?
It's not. I'm being facetious.
All right.
You know.
You just said that like you got feedback. They're like, oh, she always says yet another.
Nope.
Because, like, you know how the whole internet will pick apart everything.
Oh, yeah, no.
Okay.
No, I mean, yet another episode of the show because me and this show cannot be stopped.
Yeah. Well, now it turned into a threat.
You can't stop me.
Yeah.
But anyway, hi, I'm Lauren. I'm here, and you're not even like a very special guest on the show anymore, Russ. It's
Okay.
fine. You're just here. You're my husband. You rolled in from the living room, and we're here to talk about the...
I think I'm special in as much as I have more than the average bear to contribute to the conversation about Weird Al.
Oh, well, you do. You're right. That's true. You're just here a lot.
As we read
I
on the
don't
internet
mind.
earlier this week, and I know generally the snark gets off the charts sometimes with me, but hate to break it to you, but I'm still a special guest. And no, you don't hate to break it to anybody on the internet. You are overjoyed to type the sentence where you think you're going to prove someone wrong.
I know.
Not you, the royal you.
Yeah.
Stop using that phrase, people. Stop saying I hate to break it to you on the internet. Stop saying actually. And also...
actually.
Right. And then the other one is stop saying, I don't want to be rude, but yes, you do. Because if you didn't want to be rude and you hated to break it to people, you just wouldn't type the comment.
Right. I agree. See, this is why you're my husband. Mm-hmm. This is why. Anyway, we're here. What are we here to talk about today?
That boy could dance.
That boy could dance.
The second Weird Al song I ever heard in my whole life.
That's why you're here. Because you were here, San's other guest for Eat It. And now you're here, San's other guest for the flip side of the 7-inch. That boy could dance.
Which I'm sure I said on that episode, but still remains true, that I bought for 75 cents at the Kmart on Dixie Highway in, at the time, Drayton Plains, Michigan, because they were trying to get it separated from Pontiac, Michigan, because Pontiac was known as like the Ghetto.
Oh.
So they started renaming parts of Pontiac. It's like if you live downtown Detroit now, you live in Grosse Pointe Woods. No, you live in Detroit. They just call it Grosse Pointe Woods, so you don't have to tell your friends you live in Detroit. And that's what where the Kmart in Pontiac, Michigan was for a short time known as in Drayton Plains, Michigan, so it wasn't in Pontiac.
Oh, that's funny.
And that's where I bought the That Boy Could Dance 45 inch.
That boy could dance.
Or 45 RPM 7-inch single.
Yeah, there you go.
For 75 cents.
So many numbers, too many numbers.
They were 3 for $1.50. And I couldn't find 2 other songs that I wanted as much as Eat It. So I paid 75 cents for the Eat It single.
I like it. That's commitment.
It is commitment.
It is commitment. Speaking of commitment, I still have to commit to the bit here on this show.
Sure.
And I've not had this beer on this show. This beer has nothing to do with this song.
Why don't you just tell what beer you're having?
Because I'm having Steve Austin's Broken Skull IPA. It's from El Segundo Brewing Company.
It's surprisingly good.
It is surprisingly
There's
good.
like most liquors and beers with people. Like the only other beer that comes to mind with someone's name on it, and I'm sure we're going to have a lot. And I'm sure there's tons out there that I don't know of. But the only other beer that comes to mind with like an artist's name on it or a well-known person's name on it that I was like, yeah, that's great. It's a foregone conclusion anyways, but Dogfish Head did a collaboration with Pearl Jam.
Oh, yeah.
The beer was called Faithful, which is weird. It was for the Pearl Jam's 20th anniversary as a band, but the beer was named after a song on their 5th record, which is fine. That's my favorite Pearl Jam album anyways. So I love that. Like, that beer was as good as I wanted it to be. But like if you go into, Bevmo or Total Wine or whatever else and you look at like anyone's tequila, and I don't mean like the Rocks tequila or George Clooney's tequila, but I mean like AC/DC's tequila or like Kiss's whatever. I think Kiss makes gin and something else. They're just terrible. So like with Stone Cold, even though back in the day all he drank in the ring was I think like usually Coors Light and sometimes Busch Light and whatever else. So like he has every right to put out an average pills as a beer and just be like, well, what'd you expect, jackass? You know?
Well, and the lager is basically
yeah, but it's good.
It's good for
It's
what
good.
it is. I much prefer this
very
to
much
the
like
other
the
one.
IPA.
I need to read the blurb on the can.
Okay. How long is the blurb on the
Not
can?
long, but longer than most can blurbs.
What? Hold on one second. Let me see it real quick.
Okay.
Okay, just Broken Skull India Pale. Okay. I just was looking to see if it was like there was anything longer to the title.
No, Broken Skull India Pale Ale, a badass 6.7% IPA designed by Steve Austin and El Segundo Brewing Company for the working man and woman. It features Citra, Cascade, and Chinook hops to deliver big flavor with an easy finish. Now stop reading and start enjoying this awesome beer. Cheers. What do you think?
That's all right. It's a little lower.
I know. Well, I'm a
You
woman.
gotta have more of a nose plug too.
Oh.
That's the thing people don't do when they do Stone Cold. They don't do the nose plug.
That's really good.
Mm-hmm.
That's really good.
Oh, I got WWE impressions for days.
I know you do. So,
If anybody happens to overhear somebody breathing
heavy
heavily,
breathing, it's not me.
It's not Lauren. It's Belladonna, the prettiest dog ever in the history of the world.
Who can be seen relatively frequently on the Infectious Groove Music YouTube channel. Pop in, catch some Belladonna cameos.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. Troy's made a couple now,
Troy
but
has-
Bella
yeah.
works herself into all of them.
Bella likes to be seen. She knows she's the prettiest dog in
Her's
the world.
pretty girl.
So pretty. Oh, she's over here just licking.
She's upset because we're sitting here because if we sit beside each other on the couch, she can get my attention on her while I'm sitting next to you. But right now I'm facing you and paying attention to you. She ain't having it.
No, this is true. This is unacceptable.
So anyways, tell me about this boy who can dance.
Yeah, the boy could dance. So this is, one of the Weird Al originals on the Weird Al Yankovic in 3D album. We're almost done celebrating the 40th anniversary of this amazing record.
What a wonderful idea this was that someone had.
Such a great idea. Thank you.
I can't wait to go through all the rest of them.
Yeah,
It's a refreshing and new way to look at the catalog.
it is. It's fun. I like it. And this is an original. And I was really hard pressed to find fun and interesting facts about this song. So the first, I have a little bit we can talk about before we get into what we think really works about this song.
I have a little bit too, but like personal stuff. But go on.
Yeah. So one of the things that I found in my research, and again, I was not able to take this particular bit of research to fruition, so I'm a little upset about that. But I read somewhere on the internet, so it has to be true, that there are some cassette editions of the Weird Al Yankovic in 3D album that do not include That Boy Could Dance.
I read the same thing, and I'm not saying that that's not true, but that's such a curiosity because cassettes essentially would always be the longest of any format that was available at the time. Like even when in 3D came out, CDs were a thing, but in 3D wasn't pressed on CD initially, right?
Right.
So of the formats that it was available on, LP and cassette, you have to remember, like when I was a kid, you could go buy blank 120-minute cassettes.
Yes.
Right. So a blank cassette I could buy would be the length of 2.5 LPs. Right. So like it wasn't like they would cut the song for runtime or anything. Like, for example, if you go look at 8-tracks, right, there's certain versions of albums where they're like albums where it matters, like The Dark Side of the Moon or The Wall, where like the track listing is out of order because of the way the 8-track works, or there's certain tracks that are missing and stuff because of the length of the tape. But like with a cassette, you couldn't. It makes no sense to me that this would be the song that would get cut, and there's no reason to cut.
Yeah, it's just odd.
Yeah.
So this information is out there, but I've yet to track down, even a picture of a copy that is missing it. So, I'm just gonna put it out there. If you are somebody who knows what that copy might be, reach out to me. Let me know. If you are somebody who has a lot of time on your hands and wants to dig into this great Weird Al That Boy Could Dance mystery. Yes, if you are a member of Styx, Tommy Shaw, get on it. But yeah, so I found that out. But then in kind of digging into that, again, we say that this is a Weird Al original, and to me and to my mind and to my ear, this is a Weird Al original that's not a pastiche or style parody of anybody in particular. This feels and has always felt to me like a very original Weird Al
No, me
song.
too. Do you want me to talk a little bit about that right now, or do you want me to wait?
No, go for it. Yeah.
Well, my thing is, you have to remember that, like, I, like many other people, were like, this was before Weird Al was an institution, and the only reason he was on my radar was because of Beat It, right? Because, like, he had already had the first record out, and I didn't like the song I Love Rock and Roll, and I wasn't a fan of the Knack.
You didn't get the Knack.
And I think the only thing I heard off the first record that I was like, oh, that's kind of funny was Ricky, because I used to watch I Love Lucy in the afternoon and I love the Tony Basil song. So I was like, yay, but I would not have gone out to buy that record.
Mm-hmm.
But so as soon as you do Eat It, I'm like, well, I'm on it, especially at that time. So, but again, because his first record, instead of just buying in 3D, because the first record, like, I knew there was a lot on there that I didn't like at the time. I was like, well, I'm just going to buy the 7-inch, right? So I bought the 7-inch for Eat It. And I just assumed, because that's all I'd ever heard of him, is that's all he did was parodies,
Mm-hmm.
And so, anyways, when I flipped over the 7-inch, I really liked that boy could dance. Like, I could tell it was still comedy. Like, I wasn't like, oh, he does serious as well, like the tale of this gentleman who could really dance well, but also did not have the best life. Like, I didn't think it was mistaken for a serious song, but I was like, oh damn, he does. Like, this doesn't sound like. I literally sat there being like, well, this doesn't sound like Van Halen, and this doesn't sound. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I was like, oh no, okay, so he does a thing. So the next time we were at the same Kmart, I looked at in 3D, and I was trying to figure out, like, King of Suede. I was like, okay, well, that's got to be King of Pain, and Theme from I was like, oh, that's probably Eye of the Tiger.
Mm-hmm.
But then I was like, oh, I bet the rest of these are like originals too, like, you know what I mean? So I bought the whole record based on the strength of That Boy Could Dance. Like, so that was like the first Weird Al original song that I liked, and it's also the reason why, when in later years, when stuff like because I'm old, so every time a Weird Al album came out, it always came out based on the one single, right? And if you're me, or if you're of a certain age, you would get it, look at the back of the record and try and figure out what songs were what, right? So when, like, Polka Party came out, Ruthless People didn't even register with me as a single. And so I was like, well, what the hell is Toothless People? Like, I didn't, and Here's Johnny, I didn't even put two and two together. And I was a DeBarge fan, but I still wasn't like, I was like, oh, that's probably Who's Johnny? Because, like, it wasn't a big hit, So that's why I was like, when stuff like Polka Party came out, I was like, well, it's got Living with a Hernia and Addicted to Spuds. And if the rest of it's originals, that's fine too. Because I didn't know the pattern yet, original parody, polka, original, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So at the time I was just like, okay, great. But, like, That Boy Could Dance is the reason why whenever I got a Weird, like, I used to have friends of mine that had Weird Al records when they came out. They were very much like, felt like they were buying half an album, because all they were interested in were the parodies, which is fine. Like, they weren't like, oh, his originals suck. They just were like, it's just not
for me.
Right. And so for me, I was always like, That Boy Could Dance is the reason why I never felt that way. Like, I never bought a Weird Al album and was like, oh, well, I'm just getting these parodies. And then, like, I hope some of these other originals are funny. Like, the first time I heard That Boy Could Dance, I was like, hell yeah, that song kicks ass. And, like, and it, if you've heard me talk about what I truly love about Weird Al over the years, I mean, that checks out. Like, one of my next favorites is Stuck in a Closet with Vanna White, which is, like, in the same vein as this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you go through the years, all of my favorite originals are along this line.
I love that. Ladies and gentlemen listening to this show, do you see why I married this person, by the way?
Well, that's the thing. That's a whole butterfly effect that, like, when we were preparing for this episode, I was like, what if I never even flipped this over? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
it's wild stuff. So
I wouldn't have got a lousy copy of the Home Game. I wouldn't have, so. But yeah, I literally, like, I flipped the 45 over, and I genuinely liked the song. Like, I did, it was like me being an empathetic little 9-year-old, 8-year-old, 9-year-old. I was like, oh, I feel bad for this dude. Like, but then it was like, yeah, but he can cut a rug though. And I was like, yeah, you show him, like, that's how I listen to the song.
That's great.
So anyways, go on. But I just say, it was, No, it's I gotta assume I'm near alone on this, but like this was the song that was the gateway to like all things original Weird Al for me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you're not alone because like totally on account of it being the flip side of Eat It, but I love how that you appreciate it for that. So I was digging a little bit more into this, and apparently in a 1999 interview with Dr. Demento, Weird Al said that That Boy Could Dance was heavily inspired by the Kinks song Jack the Idiot Dunce.
Now, I have thoughts on this. Have you listened to that song?
I have.
Okay, I haven't. Let me say this and then you tell me, because I haven't listened to the song, so I have a thought on this, and then you tell me, having listened to the song, if I'm right.
Sure.
I feel like there is a strong difference between inspired by and pastiche.
Absolutely.
See what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, I think anybody on earth who has ears could listen to CNR and go, oh, well, that's every White Stripes song.
Right.
Do you think people would hear this song and that Kinks song and go, oh, well, obviously Hal's doing the Kinks there?
No.
Okay, so
No.
I just feel like there's a massive difference between inspired by
and that's the thing, like,
which, by the way, and I not to be snarky, that's why I didn't bother listening to the Kinks
yeah.
thing, because if Weird Al meant pastiche or that he was doing that in the vein of the Kinks, that's what he would have said.
Yes.
And that's not what he said.
He said he was inspired,
Right.
heavily inspired by it. But like I listened to it, and the closest I could get was a song about somebody that's not great at most things, and piano. That's as far as my brain could make that connection.
Yeah.
And it's not. I mean, Weird Al's got no reason to lie, especially to the good Dr. Demento.
Right.
But I just, like, you could be inspired by whatever you want to be inspired by, Like, I don't know.
I don't know. I see no crime or.
Yeah. There's nothing.
Let me put it this way. Saying that he admitted it makes it sound like Weird Al had hidden this for whatever, 15 years.
Yeah.
And then was like, oh, okay, you got me.
Yeah, you got me.
It was heavily inspired by this Kinks song no one's ever heard.
I know. So, anyway, there's that.
There's stuff like, what's that one song? I don't mean to put you on the spot. No. You know this better than I do. What's that one song that, I would have never known Albuquerque was even in the vein of? I can't think of it, but you know what I'm saying.
I know exactly what you're saying.
But, I still don't. I listened to that after you had told me about it, and I wasn't like, oh, this ruins Albuquerque for me.
Right. Yeah. There's literally nothing on this planet that can ruin any Weird Al song for me. So, hooray. Speaking of things that aren't ruined, let's talk about what we think really works about That Boy Could Dance.
Sure.
I have 3 items on a list that I have written down, but I'll let you go first.
Okay. Just one of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
We could volley. We could do whatever.
The lyrics, I think that, like I say, the lyrics to me, when I, even as an adult now, when I hear it, I'm like, oh, yeah, that's hilarious. Like, all those different ways to say that he's a loser. But literally when I was a kid, I was like, "Aw," and then when it got to this, so I think the lyrics work for every age, however they're meant to hit.
Yep.
Then they do. So the lyrics are the first thing that works for me.
Yeah, I mean, one of my talking points is based off of the lyrics as well. I think this is a stretch, but be with me on this. Mm-hmm. This feels in a way personal.
Oh, I would say so.
No,
I mean, I didn't have that as one of my points, but yeah, absolutely.
And so that's kind of one of the things that I like about it is that, even behind that veil of funny, because remember, we're only one album removed from, I'll Be Mellow When I'm Dead on his self-titled debut album, which is extremely personal, and then you get to this and it's like, okay, well, I'm trying this whole other vein of things. Let me make this character who gets picked on, who, isn't great at, a lot of things, but he's got one thing that he's really, really good at, and
I think it's also meant to be inspirational.
Yeah, absolutely. Because yeah. It's like it goes from being the one that everybody's picking on to that line, I'd give anything if I could be just like him.
Right.
And it's like just like him, not just good at this one thing, but just like him, his weird ineptitudes and flaws and all.
Derailing too much, and I've shown you this before. There used to be, well, they just sort of rebooted it, but there used to be a show called At Midnight on Comedy Central, and the day 2 or 3 days after Prince passed, I was not expecting them to be the ones to like get me with the feels, you know. And one of the best things I've ever heard said about Prince, Chris Hardwick said in the opening to that episode of At Midnight. And he was like, the thing about Prince is everybody always was like, oh, he's so weird. And Prince was never like, yeah, I'm weird. He was like, I'm me and I'm unique. And that's what makes me me. And you should be you. Mm-hmm. Like, and I feel, you know, not to get too serious about it, but I feel like that's what this song is saying. Like, yeah, okay, well, you do the thing that you do well. Really well, and nothing else matters.
Nothing else matters. Yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, in that same vein, we just recently caught some clips from Weird Al's The Ceremony when he got his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and you know the things that people were saying, like his importance is basically like Weird Al gives everybody license to be their authentic weird self, and it doesn't matter. Like you can be successful not in spite of, but because of. So you know, Jimmy the Geek.
I mean, we talked about it ad nauseum with me, even in my guest spots on the show. You know, this whole thing where people get all excited now. They go, "Oh, it's great because nerd culture's like." I don't mean any disrespect to anybody. Like when I grew up, people wore Superman T-shirts. People wore Batman shirts. So like get out of here with the whole like, oh yay, Marvel's a big deal now and like I don't have to hide it anymore. Like come on. Mm-hmm. You buy a Weird Al album when you're 11 and have people openly make fun of you about it.
Oh yeah, well
but you know what I'm saying?
I sure do.
Like that's nerd culture coming. Like the fact that people revere Weird Al now. When I used to, when we went to Detroit, I drove you past, and I was like, that's where I got made fun of for buying Polka Party by the people who were ringing it up. Not even just like a guy in an Alice Cooper jacket being like, look at you, idiot. You know, like, so like songs like the messaging in That Boy Could Dance made me be like, yeah, that's fine though.
That's fine. Well, that's the thing, you know, I feel like we're very much having one of those, this is how society hurt me for liking Weird Al, and now we're gonna get through it kind of conversations. But like that's kind of what this song is. You know, I'm sure people listening to this and who have followed the podcast for a while, do you remember how I wore a Weird Al shirt for 1,000 days in a row? Right?
Yeah.
Well, one of the shirts in my collection is the oldest shirt in my collection that I got at a Weird Al concert in 1999. And guess who never wore that to school?
I'm going to guess you.
That would be me. Yeah. You know, because it wasn't worth what could happen.
I've told this story before, and I'll make it quick. But the very first time in my life that I was like, oh, okay, it's okay for like other people to like know. Like, I'm not going to get made fun of. And I feel like somehow, or by then, he had turned a corner, Weird Al had, was when I moved to Tampa in the mid-'90s and when I bought Hair Day and made a friend. Like, somebody literally was like, is that the new Weird Al? You know, and previously I was like, yes, and, you know. But it was my friend working at a computer game store, so I felt like fairly confident
in being like,
yeah, it is, yeah. And like I made a friend over that, you know. And then years later, I remember being in UHF Records in Royal Oak, Michigan, and they had a copy of Alpocalypse on vinyl. And I remember like picking it up, looking at it and being like, I can't remember what's on this. Like still to this day, I'm always like, I can't remember what's on Alpocalypse. But the dude across the register, who, by the way, Scotty, who now works at Rock City Music in Livonia, Michigan. If you're interested in anything to do with music, go to rockcitymusiccompany.com. Or if you're in the Detroit area, go to Rock City Music and ask for Scotty or Nick.
And tell them Russ sent you.
Yep. Well, they probably get tired of hearing that. Like Nick sure. Like once a week, Nick will be like, do you know a guy named this? I'm like, no. He's like, well, he came in and said you sent him here.
Well, tell him you heard it on the Beard Out podcast. That'll throw him for a loop.
There you go. But what was I going to say? So anyways, like across the store, he was like, He's like, oh, I want that album to be so much better than it was. And I had to like look around and make sure he wasn't talking to someone else. You know, and I was like, oh, I'm the only one in here. And I was like, I turned Apocalypse around and he was like, yeah. And I was like, you know, it was like another one of those moments where I was like, oh yeah, other people dig this as well,
Yep.
you know? But certainly That Boy Could Dance is one of those songs that made me go like, yeah, it's totally okay to like this. You know?
Yeah, I love it. So yeah, you get another point.
I'll knock out my second and third points real quick.
Word.
Production. I think the production on this is fantastic. I've beat that horse to death though. I mean the production on this record across the board is like head and shoulders above. But it also shows that Weird Al like knew what he wanted his originals to sound like.
Yes.
Because again, I talk about Vanna White and Eddie Vedder. Like those songs, they all have the same production quality as this. As That Boy Could Dance. So like early on, he knew what he wanted his originals to sound like. And then the other thing is just the fact that, you know, he could have put a parody on the B-side of any of his singles, really, you know. Even though King of Suede had its own single and whatever else, he still could have put that on the B-side of this. And but I like the bold choice to put one of your originals on the B-side and be like, yeah, I know you bought this because you like MJ. You need it and so on and so forth, but like here's what I sound like also on the B-side. You know, even artists have done that before, like when they were launching Bad, they didn't want to give away any of the rest of the record to the public.
Okay.
So the first two singles off of Bad that came out had songs from Thriller as the B-sides.
Oh, fun.
Because they were like, well, you don't get to hear that. Like, you're going to buy Bad. Like, we need to sell a lot of this because of Thriller sales, right?
Yeah.
And he could have been like, eat it, packed with, hey, do you remember Another One Rides the Bus? You
Right.
know?
Yeah.
So to me, I like the choice to put it as the B-side single because like it launched my.
Yeah. Well, it shows
fandom.
Confidence. I mean, I don't know if
That's what I'm saying.
Like, I don't know if any of y'all remember, but way back when I was talking about the second track on this album, Midnight Star, how Al wanted that to be the lead single to the album. I mean, it's just first of all, hubris.
Oh, for sure.
Confidence.
Yeah.
You know, gonads.
Well, I have to assume that we've talked about this ad nauseum, and especially on the Infectious Groove YouTube channel, but like, nobody outside of Michael Jackson saw Thriller doing what Thriller did. So I would imagine Weird Al was like, okay, beat it. Like, that'll just be,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, okay, that'll be, you know, as big as Another One Bites the Dust or My Sharona, you know? And then like, no.
Yeah.
You know,
Exploded.
so I would imagine the record label was like, no, we're going to strike while this, we're going to take all of our sequined gloves and hit while the iron is hot.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
You know what I mean? I don't even think, I think it could have been one of those things too, and that could have been the start of Weird Al not wanting to be attached to MJ all the time, you know, like which would come up again around the Deep End era.
That is very true. Yeah. So I love that. I mean, I like to try and I get a little like personal funny with the things that I think work in the song. But this one for me is just, I think that the vocal harmonies throughout this are very sing-alongable, meaning when I sing along to this, I don't necessarily always do the main melody bit. Like they're there and they're very pronounced, and you can kind of like pick and choose your own adventure when you want to sing along with this song, and I think that's super fun.
This is another song, and again, I apologize if like this is just touching on the same points again, but I put this in the same thing. I've said this over and over and over about Vanna White. I've said it about the song UHF. You change a couple of lyrics and you put somebody else's name on this, and this is a hit rock song in 1984.
Yeah.
Like, period.
How do you feel? I'm going to segue into my next point with this. I'm just going to write this down because I agree with you completely. And I think this kind of follows very well what you just said here. My note literally here says, keyboard is righteous.
Yeah.
You know, I love the whole bit. Like, if you just really focus onto what like Al is doing on the keys in this, it's like, oh my, this is marvelous. So as the keyboard person, I'm like, oh, I like that. I really like how it just kind of complements all the other stuff that's happening. It feels very, and again, this is something that you get a lot in Weird Al's music, but I'm going to say it here now also. It feels very, it's like organized chaos. It's frantic, but it's like you can tell everything is doing what it's supposed to do. So to that point, how do you feel about the guitar solo in this song?
I like it. I just makes me wish he would have done the Eat It solo. The guitar tone's good. It's a solid solo. You know, it's what the song calls for.
Yeah.
Like literally the last time I listened to the song today, I was thinking, God, I wish you would have done the Eat It solo.
That's very funny.
And I like Rick Derringer. I'm a real American myself, you know, but like, I don't want anything to do with no rock and roll hoochie coo. But
yeah, I get that.
But like, I have nothing against Rick Derringer. Like, the only thing I have against Rick Derringer is damn you and that terrible guitar tone.
That's funny.
Like, children were able to play the Beat It solo. Like, it's like just like Eruption. It's like a thing people were learning at the time.
Yeah.
But go on.
I know.
So, but about this guitar solo,
yeah,
I wish it shows that like this guy can play guitar.
Yeah, that's fair. I like it. I like this song quite a bit.
As do I.
I think we've touched on all of what we think works about it.
Sure.
So I think at this point it's probably a good time to throw it to some ads. I'm sorry. There's a bug in here, and also I think I'm doing a really good job holding it all together because the people don't know this. They can't see this. They have no idea about my life. What's happening?
You're being attacked by bugs constantly.
Yeah, I am like.
That's why I'm trying to screen in the back.
I know. It's like every time you open the door, I get at least 4 new like bug bites. It's terrible. I'm delicious.
Yeah, apparently bugs think so.
Yeah. So anyhow, I'm very itchy. But I think I'm doing a good job holding it together. Here's hoping that there's some ads for bug spray that you get to be like, you probably won't. It would be funny if you did though.
The ads are based on what you Googled, so don't write to the Beard Owl podcast on any platform and complain about the ads because they're what you Googled.
Okay, good luck.
Yeah, Godspeed.
Hey there, I'm Dave, the host of Beer in Front. Sometimes the beer in front of you is the best one yet. I'll talk about some old school beers that maybe you've forgotten about, some new beers that have the potential to be a classic. I'll also talk to various people around the beer world and get their stories all about beer. That's Beer in Front, and it's available on all of your favorite podcast apps.
Hey, I'm Hansel Aaron from the BFYTW podcast, here with my buddy Stevie.
Hey, what's up?
And Augie.
Hey.
And we're here to, first of all, categorically deny the rumors going around that all we've been doing lately is copying other podcasts. This is categorically untrue, and we deny it completely. Having said that, please continue to enjoy the Beard Owl podcast. But when you're done, please check out our new project, the Weird Ale podcast, where we pair an ale with a Weird Al song. Pretty sure that hasn't been done before.
And we're back!
Man, I can't get back at that cat.
All right. So I hope you liked those ads.
Those were some awesome ads.
They're really, really good ads. Yeah. So here we are in I think what last time we referred to as the womp womp portion of the show. Anything that we think doesn't work about this particular song.
This is all you because I got nothing. I mean, you're literally talking to a person that like his entire Weird Al fandom was more or less launched secondarily by this.
Yeah,
song.
and I think that's fair. I think that's fair. I think if and this is absolutely not something that doesn't work about this song. But this is something that, for me, I consistently have a difficult time with. I'm going to put it to you that way. There is something about this song that, even if I hear it once, which I obviously heard more than once in preparation for this episode, but even if I hear it once, this is such an earworm for me. This is going to be in my head for like at least a week. You know?
This, Popeil, and I'll Be Mellow When I'm Dead.
Oh,
all three of them. It doesn't matter if I hear them, any part of them, they're stuck in my head for a long time. And that's one of the reasons why I bought 3D, because I was like, let me put it this way. Like, you know, of course I'm going to sing Eat It and Beat It and whatever. But like a week after hearing That Boy Could Dance, I was like humming it.
Yeah.
Right. And so I was like, oh,
so it's not something that doesn't work, but it's just something that it's like.
No, it's not. Not something that works too well.
It works too well. It's almost too good. It's almost too good. So
like Spinal Tap, when they're at Grace Elvis's Chris, it puts everything in perspective. Too much perspective.
Too much.
Too much perspective.
It's like it's the anti-Tourette syndrome of the ape.
Right.
That's my favorite line from Spinal Tap, and it's not even in the movie proper.
So many.
That's in like the deleted.
The part where they're at Elvis's grave, which by the way is hilariously bad special effects wise. It's like not even close. They like filmed it out in a field. They were like, let's just hope this kind of looks like Graceland. It's like terrible. But when they try and sing Heartbreak Hotel and they're in totally different keys. And
oh my God, yeah.
And he's like, well, I think we should sing it in the same key, yeah? So great.
Oh Lord. So I guess this is not even anything that's wrong, but this is something that has always kind of bothered me.
Okay.
Lyrically.
Mm-hmm.
He owns half of Montana.
What's wrong with that?
I guess.
Oh, yeah. That reminds me of businesses owned. I have a thing to talk about that isn't a thing that doesn't work, but relates to the song.
And this is again something.
But what's the
it's
matter
not
with owning half of Montana?
I guess I feel like
I have to assume that's like a joke based on the how low the population is there.
I'm sure that
Like, I
that's
assume
some
if you
kind
just
of a
go
joke.
to one side of the state, you could probably be like, "This is all mine."
Yeah, I guess, but I'm sure there's big chunks of Montana that are like state and or national parks. You can't own those. So what do you own?
If you're good enough at dance, is what I believe.
Is that the deal?
Proposes. I think so.
So again, this is just one of those things that I sometimes I get moments. It's like, how can you own that? Like, who owns a state?
Well, my thing regarding businesses owned is if, and you'll have a chance at doing this fairly soon, if you would like to see who this person has become as an adult, in Michigan, there is a restaurant called Diamond Jim's.
Oh.
In downtown Detroit, there is a jeweler called Diamond Gems. So you could go to either and see and just say to one of them, let me see your dance skills.
Or how much of Montana do you own?
Right. But I'm saying to find out which one of them was the boy who grew up to be Diamond Jim.
Boy, that boy could dance.
Yeah. Well, you would have to ask, let me see you dance. And then you would determine between the two who that boy is. Or who was that boy?
Diamond Jim, dance off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you would have to drive between that. I mean, you're looking at, that's like a 3-hour difference between you would have to drive one or the other and then.
No, I would call them both to the middle.
That's fair.
I would, yeah.
But yeah, so I thought you would find that
side.
interesting. I remember there being a Diamond Jim's downtown, and then I was like, wait a minute, I bet there's some more. Let me look and make sure there's not any more in Michigan, and sure as hell there was one. Huh. So that boy may have grown up and lived in Michigan now.
So he's just going to own Montana, but live in Michigan.
Yeah. I mean, like, look at Jack White owns half of Nashville, and he lives in Michigan.
That's fair. That's fair. Do they call him Diamond Jack?
Well, they don't call him John Gillis. They call him Jack White.
That's true.
You know,
if
I've seen him in concert, that boy could dance.
I guess that boy. I've seen him. I've been there.
Yeah,
I saw it. I've seen it.
Him.
I've seen it occur. All right. If you were some kind of magnate in something,
like if I owned half of Montana,
if you owned half of Montana, and so you know, he went from being Jimmy the Geek to Diamond Jim. Mm-hmm. If you were some kind of a magnate, what would you want the people to call you? I'm putting you on the spot, and I realize this.
You are. It depends. I need parameters, like in real estate or in music or in film or.
Well, since music is your thing, let's go with music. If you were some kind of like record store magnate, like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like you were that subject matter expert and you were like, okay, I'm going to have all of these record stores that show the reverence that I want to show the music. And you're just going from being Russ, the music guy, to what?
See, the thing that's throwing me is that, his name changed in the thing. And
Jimmy to Jim.
Yeah, well, I like my name.
Well, you can be Russ. Doesn't have to change. There's no way to change my name. You know what I mean? If I were some kind of magnate, I would probably Diamond Jim. That's like expensive, hard, rare, shiny. I would probably be something along the lines of I think I'd want to be like Big L the Rhinestone.
All right. Golden Ear Russ.
Ooh.
Because I would like to be the person who single-handedly saves this pile of poo that the music industry has turned into. And I'm not talking about Napster or streaming or anything. The thing where we glorify crap.
Oh, yeah.
You and I have generally every weekend on SNL, because like SNL is still supposed to be the thing where like the hips and the kids find things. I say to you, I'm going to give this person 30 seconds.
And
we barely make it to 30 seconds a lot of times.
Yep.
So I would be the guy who finds more of the Billie Eilishes. The Billie Eilish?
The Billie, the Billie
The
Eilish.
Eilishes.
Yeah, the William Eyelash.
Yeah, I know, but what would the plural of the Eilishes be? The Eilishes?
Yeah, the Eilishes.
Okay, I would like to find more of those and less of the people who barely mumble or say one thing and then do another, like, don't objectify me because I'm a woman, but then show up half dressed on SNL and go, look at my thingies.
My thingies. Yeah.
So I would like to be golden ear. I would like to be the guy who saved the music industry.
The man with the golden ear.
Yeah. Like the reason why I was struggling is because like they never call anybody that. Like Jimmy Iovine didn't have that type of nickname. Clive Davis didn't have that type of nickname. Barry Gordy. But like I would like to be the guy where they're like, damn, that's the dude. Like that's the guy that found all of these artists who now put music back to where it should be.
Yeah. So you just want to write the course.
Correct.
With your golden ear.
And then people will say, there goes Golden Ear Russ. He's the guy that found my favorite band.
Not to be confused with Golden Meyer.
Right.
Completely different.
Or Goldfinger.
Goldfinger. He's the man. Man with the Midas touch.
And not to be confused with Golden Earring.
Right.
Because I'm not going to the Twilight Zone.
Now, do you have a thing that's called?
I do not.
Radar Love? That's Golden Earring also.
No, I live right here.
Yeah, that's fair.
Radar Love's about a truck driver.
Yeah, we have a small SUV, no trucks.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that would be my thing.
I like it.
I would want to be known as that guy.
I like it.
And I guarantee I could do it if they would let me, as opposed to these people who are like, I don't know, they got a bunch of clicks. Let's throw money at them and call them a star. Don't worry, we only got to waste 10 minutes on it till the next person.
I know.
I would also go and make bands and real artists a thing again, like that thing where you could name more than one person in a band, and it wasn't just a bunch of faceless, nameless people behind them.
Yeah,
crazy.
I know. Well, I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, I think we've killed enough time to move on to the next section of the episode. This is the part where we get fun and we rank the song. Rate the song on a scale of 1 to 27. And remember, I've been here quite a bit for every song on this album, so I've kind of pigeonholed myself to 22 and up. So I'm going to go with 26.
I still don't understand that. You can rate it anything you want.
I like this more than the thing that I
have
rated 22.
zero rhyme or reason to my score.
That's
What
okay.
did you say yours was?
26.
26?
Yep.
I was going to go 25.
There we go.
And I don't even have a really reason why I took 2 off. It's just 25.
Yeah. I totally get it.
Like, I'm trying to, I like, this is something I probably could have thought of before we were on here. Let me say this. I can't think of, off the top of my head, I can't think of another single in my life that I've ever flipped over and been like, oh, I'm going to buy the rest of that record because of this.
That's huge.
Because there was always like a second single or something else where I was like, maybe, like if I'd have to go look at Culture Club 7 Inches. I would imagine there was probably like a one, like on the flip side of something where I was like, ooh, I got to get the rest of this, either Kissing to Be Clever or Color by Numbers, right? But like the ones that come to mind, like we just joked about it, but Twilight Zone, I had the single for that, Hungry Like the Wolf. I'm thinking of stuff I had when I was like 6, 7, 8, same in the same age ranges. And like none of those had B-sides where I was like, oh, I got it. Like I never owned the whole album Rio as a kid because well, I don't even remember what's on the flip side of Hungry Like the Wolf, but it wasn't important for me enough to go buy the rest of the record, you know? And even like, I think before I had Thriller, I think I had, this is funny. This is a running joke. It's kind of radio for one if our friend Ben listens to this, but I forget what it is. But there is a 7-inch off of Thriller that has Baby Be Mine as the B side, and I was like, ugh, yeah, like ugh, and I think it's Human Nature. Anyways, I had whatever 7-inch it was. I was even like, oh, and I was disappointed when I got Thriller and that song was on it. I was like, ugh, what a terrible song. But yeah, I can't think of another 7-inch single that I've ever. Listen, I say 7-inch. The reason why I keep saying 7-inch singles because, like, when CD singles came out, there was a whole different bag. Yep. Like, there were so many bonus tracks and stuff. Like, I would submit all the CD singles off the first 2 Oasis records. All the quote B sides are all better than the songs that are on the Oasis. Like, there are songs that didn't appear on the albums, and they're all better than. So you couldn't even go buy an Oasis record for the B side because it wasn't on there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's wild.
But I can't think of literally another 7-inch single ever that I turned over and was like, oh, I'm going to go buy that whole album based on this song.
Yeah.
So that's why I had 25.
I like it.
Removing 2 because it wasn't another Michael Jackson song, I guess, when I was, 9, and that's what I wanted.
That's fair. I like it. Well, here we are. We've come to the end of
I literally just remembered this.
Okay.
One of the reasons why I did play it was because I thought that it was another song about Michael Jackson because
that
MJ
boy
was so
could
much.
dance.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, this is going to be another song about like, just poking fun at MJ, like, because he doesn't directly poke fun at Michael.
Yeah.
And then I listened to it and I was like, oh, well, this is a great song. It has nothing to do whatsoever with Michael Jackson.
That's marvelous.
So, but I literally just remembered that that's why I've listened to it in the first place.
Beautiful. Well, folks, we've reached the end of yet another marvelous discussion about a track on the Weird Al Yankovic in 3D.
Extravaganza.
Extravaganza.
I don't even know how many more songs are left on this.
2. We've got 2 songs left.
Nature Trail closes it out.
Nature Trail closes it out.
Rocky.
Yep, the theme from Rocky 13. We're going to have Garrett from the Ever Trending Story podcast on to talk about the theme from Rocky 13. We're excited about that.
Fat and weak. What a disgrace.
Yeah.
Guess the champ got too lazy.
Yeah.
Which, spoiler for that, and I'll probably say that again on this episode, but I was just saying to you the other day that, like, we're a couple Creed movies away from that becoming prophecy on Weird Al's part.
I mean,
Because, like, I count the Creed movies as Rocky movies.
Yeah, well, they're in the universe.
Yep.
So I think that's cool. And then, the album closes out with the theme from Rocky 13, where we have
Nature Trail.
The Nature Trail to Hell. You're right. Yeah. Yeah. The album closes out with Nature Trail to Hell. And we're going to have Disney John, who's one of the regular hosts of the Docking Bay 77 podcast. So if you heard Dayton here last week.
Talking about synth work.
Yeah. Disney John is one of the.
On that record.
I think this. Yeah.
Nature Trail.
Oh, it's going to be so much fun. And I'm excited to have Disney John on to talk. Number 1, because he's never been on this show before.
Yeah.
And number 2, when you and I appeared on an episode of the Docking Bay 77 podcast, and Disney John was one of the other panelists on that particular episode. And after we had wrapped recording, I brought up this series that's happening over here, and he was like, oh my gosh, can I do Nature Trail to Hell? And I was like, yeah. So he was like real excited to do it. And so I'm like real excited to have him on for this conversation.
Yeah. I mean, that's how it should be. Like, even people listen to the last one, like when we had toyed around with Dayton, which, by the way, if you haven't, you should go listen to Docking Bay 77, his podcast. But when we were like, tossing around, like, oh, maybe you could be on another episode or whatever, and mentioned King of Suede, he was like, yes.
Yeah. And so, I mean,
that's what you want. You don't want people being like, oh, no, I guess that.
Yeah. Disney John brought the enthusiasm, and he brings the enthusiasm. So I'm very enthusiastic about all that's occurring.
Giant surprise person that's like heavy into Disney, which is like really emotional, passionate stuff.
Yep. So
I said that in like I did not mean that in a sarcastic way. I mean like
no.
In a reverent way for people who are passionate about that.
Oh, for sure. It's gonna be great. Yeah. And then after we wrap the in 3D discussions, I'm gonna do a couple.
Only 13 more albums to go.
Yeah, but I'm gonna do a couple one-off episodes in between albums because I've got people that were wanting to talk about some stuff. So we'll do that, and then we'll jump into Dare to Be Stupid. So
you said that like it was going to be an intervention. You were like, I have some people that want to talk to me about some things.
Well, I mean, how did this episode start? It was like, I got made fun of for buying this Weird Al album. So I got made fun of for wearing this Weird Al shirt. So, like, you know what? We can unload here. This is, so yeah, it's going to be an altervention. I like that. I like that a lot. So anyway, you can catch me and Russ on the Infectious Groove Music YouTube channel thrice a week.
Yes, vinyl reviews every Sunday. Our regular topic, which, by the way, way short form. Like if you're listening to this, you hear like an hour every other week. The videos that we have on Thursday are like between 10 and 12 minutes long. It's bite-sized stuff where we talk about fun things that we love about music. And then Saturday is the thing that brings like the most views to the channel, but we're trying to put our own little twist on it instead of the same things you've seen on everybody else's channel, and that's reactions and whatnot. So we do have stuff that like you do see on other channels where we'll do like, I mean, I'm naturally a huge Elvis fan and a huge MJ fan, so you see a lot of reactions to stuff on that. But we also do stuff that most people wouldn't think of, even for other artists and whatnot. So, without just going, oh, well, we'll act like we've never heard this thing before so we can get, 25,000 views. We do the things that we try and find either things that you haven't seen or I haven't seen, to make it genuine. And then we also do, a lot of things that we think most people haven't seen, or try and find performances of songs that we love that we haven't seen and whatnot. So, but yeah, if you haven't subscribed, and the thing is, I know everybody goes, make sure to hit the like button and all, like literally every like, and comments more than anything. Comments really boost things these days in the algorithm. So if you click on any of our videos, even if it's just a great video comment or whatever, or so-so video. I was stunningly indifferent to this video. Whatever you want to leave, leave a comment, and that helps us out.
Mid. This video was mid.
Dear God, please don't type that.
Okay. We won't type that. And I guess with that, we're gonna bid you adieu.
Good one.
So like we told you what's coming up next. So stay tuned. You're going to enjoy it. Okay. Bye everybody. Goodbye. Bye.